This is why 7 out of 10 customers won't come back to the dealer for service. According to the data, some of the reasons are perceived cost, convenience, and lack of trust. The following customer experience, though horrific, is certainly not an isolated incident. Here's what happened to us. The airbag light on our Chrysler Crossfire was on, so I called the dealer for guidance. Over the phone, I was told that was usually caused by a wiring issue. I made an appointment and dropped the car off. I pulled into the drive, put the top up, and sat there waiting to be acknowledged. No one got up from the desk, so after waiting for some time, I exited the vehicle and approached the service counter. They confirmed why I was there, asked if there was anything else, and I left. No greet in the drive, no walk around, no anything, and mind you, the service light was blinking that the service was overdue, and the oil change sticker on the windshield was on long enough that the date and numbers had faded. Later that day, before closing, I called to find out what's going on with the car, and I'm told that they were having trouble with their diagnostic tool and were borrowing a tool from another dealer to be able to diagnose my car. No call initiated by the dealer. That was Tuesday, June 9th. The next day I called again after not hearing back from the dealer, and the service manager tells me that the computer control module for the airbag system was bad and needed replacement, and that the repair was going to run me $1,410. No tax was discussed, so I'm assuming that was an add-on, bringing my total to $1,499.53. No small repair. I asked them to email me the quote. That was Wednesday, June 10th. I wanted to see if FCA would offer some assistance, but no such help was forthcoming. On Friday morning, I authorized the repair. At that time, I was told the part was special order item and it would take 5 business days. Assuming it arrived the following Friday, I would get my car back that following Monday. Once again, I asked them to email me the quote. That was Friday, June 12th. That Friday, I got no call from the dealer. On Monday, I called them to see if the car would be ready. The service manager tells me, let me check on that and I'll call you back. He calls me back to inform me that the part came in was defective. According to a good friend that works in a parts department at another dealership in the area, a common parts department code for, oh shit, I forgot to order the part. The replacement part will be in next Friday, so you should have the car back for the weekend. Once again, I asked him to email me the quote. That was Monday, June 15th. That Friday afternoon, I called the dealer to see what's going on with my car. He tells me that once again, they were having trouble with their tool and that the car should be ready on Monday. That was Friday, June 19th. Monday comes and goes and no phone call. I purposely don't call them on Tuesday to see if they would proactively call me. No such call would be forthcoming. That Wednesday morning, I go to see the dealer and voice my dissatisfaction with his service department's complete lack of any kind of process and zero outgoing communication. He suggests we go to the store and have a meeting with the service personnel. In that meeting, they start making excuses about how difficult the car is to work on, how they were charging me less than the actual amount of time they were spending on it, that the initial part was 10 days out, not the 5 I was told, and yada, yada, yada. It became clear at that point that the dealer was less concerned about customer satisfaction and started adding on to the service department's excuses. That was Wednesday, July 1st. Now, you would think that at that point, the service department would have made more of an effort to communicate with me, the customer, what was going on with my car. They didn't. It's as though the dealer meeting never happened. On Monday, I finally get a call that my car was ready. Yeah, because they wanted my money. Once again, I asked them to email me the repair order since it was never sent out, and mind you, I've been asking since June 10th. The service manager said he didn't recall me asking for it several times earlier and that they were very busy. Apparently too busy to send me, the unhappy customer, the email. That was Monday, July 6th. Tuesday morning, I go to pick up the car. I walk in, pay the $1,500, grab my keys, and go to get in the car. Immediately upon starting the ignition, the airbag light was on just as it was when I dropped the car off a month before. I drive into the service drive, leave the car running, and when the service manager came over, showed him the light, got out of the car, and had my wife turn her on and come back to pick me up. The service manager said, I'm going to have to wait for my top technician to finish up the work he was working on and have him take a look at your car. You would think that as an extremely unhappy customer whose convertible they now had for a month in the summer, he would have made my car a priority, but he didn't. They did offer to drop the car off to me when it was finished. That was Tuesday, July 7th. 2 days later, I get a call It turns out there were some wires in the steering wheel that needed to be soldered, which caused the light to be on, and that it was now fixed and ready. It was really weird thing, but once we fixed the wires, the light went off. That damaged 2 modules, he says to me. 2 modules? So I ask him, since the short burnt out 2 modules, why didn't it burn out the alleged replacement module that was in the car now? I mean, the car was left on, it was running, and the airbag light was on. At that point, the service manager tells me, just lucky, I guess. I just shook my head in disbelief. They did offer to drop the car off. When I asked what their sanitizing protocol was regarding sanitizing customers' cars in the service drive, the advisor told me he didn't know and the service manager would call me back. Needless to say, I passed on them dropping off my car. That service manager's call never came either, by the way, and that was Thursday, July 9th. The following morning, I head down and I call once again the service manager and ask him what their sanitizing protocol is, and shockingly he tells me we don't have one. We're in the middle of a global pandemic with 130,000 or so people dead, and you're telling me you don't have one? Well, we can clean the car if the customer wants us to. That morning, I go to pick up my car, bring my own package of Clorox wipes, and wipe down the interior of the car. Given the dust on the driver's seat, no sanitizing on the dealer's part had taken place. That was Friday, July 10th. On my way home, it started to rain, but I had to pull over to reattach the right side wiper blade so it wouldn't scratch my windshield. I don't remember it being loose when I dropped it off, but it was clear they didn't do any kind of an MPI or they would have seen that needed attention. Furthermore, the loose wires caused the airbag light to come on, and according to the dealer, was what damaged the airbag control modules. The bad wires is an electrical issue that's either working or not. It's not just going to choose when to short out another electrical component. It's a very simple system, according to a friend who is a service director at another store. If there's any kind of an open ground, the light comes on. So now I'm out $1,500 for a part I don't even think I needed. I asked the service manager what the trouble codes were, and he told me there were none. Yet on the first receipt, it states they replaced the module and cleared the codes. On the second receipt, it states they had to replace the replacement module because chafed wires under the steering wheel caused the module to short out, and once again they cleared out the codes they verbally told me didn't exist. And in speaking with the general manager, he made it clear the dealer had no interest in satisfying me as a customer, and they stick by their original diagnosis and are keeping every penny of my $1,500. That was Friday, July 10th. And that, my friends, is just one of the many reasons your customers, 7 out of 10, don't come back to the dealer for service. It's dealerships like these that ruin it for the many hardworking, honest, and caring dealers out there. I know this because I have many friends and clients that represent what's good about dealer service. It's a shame that there are dealers like this one that don't. So if you want to reclaim all these lost customers, I can't stress enough. Invest in training and change your culture now. Your customers won't come back until you do, because there's no greater help or hindrance than what your customer is telling all of their friends and online community what their experience was with your service department. Thanks for watching.